Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Rani Zahroh. I'm from A class. My ID number is 18212200 and 5. In this video, I would like to present about the research proposal on the title The Correlation Between Students' Ability in Listening to English Songs and Their Vocabulary Mastery. And then for the contents, there is the first background, the second research question, and the third is operational definition, and the fourth is the aims of the research, and the fifth is about the use of the research, and the sixth about literature review, and the seventh is about research method, and the eighth is about research procedures, and the ninth about population and sample. For the next is about data collection, and the last is data analysis. And for the first is about background. And what is background in the research? As we know that English is considered a foreign language or a second language in Indonesia and is formal taught from elementary to university level. Therefore, students must be able to listen, speak, read, and write to communicate well in English. To achieve all of this, students must master a number of vocabularies, but in fact, many students can't increase their vocabulary mastery and they learn vocabulary in boring and inefficient ways. Based on the problem described above, the researcher used listening to English songs as the alternative way to learn vocabulary because learning English with song can make the students enjoy. And the next is about research question. Research question in this research proposal: is there any correlation between students' ability in listening to English songs and their vocabulary mastery? And for the operational definition, listening is a skill that has been difficult to learn because effort and focus are required to perceive the words. And then mastering vocabulary is one of the main language elements that students learn the potential to get a lot of words or to obtain. Then the researcher have used listening English song to make students have good motivation, interesting, and of course increase their vocabulary mastery. For the next is aim of the research. The aim of this research, the researcher will observe the correlation between students' ability in listening to English song and their vocabulary mastery. And the use of the research, the researcher hope it will be applied as the teacher method in the learning activities to teach vocabulary mastery. And the literature review, Russell in Hasuni in 2006, page 8 also state that listening skill is listening with comprehension, attention, appreciation. Then listening activity needs integrating skill of a language, such as pronunciation, vocabulary mastery, writing, speaking, and reading. Vocabulary mastery is a thing that is difficult enough to be defined. And Fries in 1945 in page 3 state that the mastery of language is meant as the ability to use or to understand all of words of the language. Furthermore, the researcher will choose listening the English songs as the authentic material to support students' vocabulary mastery because students have vocabulary mastery when they have an ability in understanding and using the vocabulary. For the research method, the researcher choose the correlation study analysis and the population and sample. The researcher took the 11th grade students consisting of 236 students and then took the sample from the population by taking 5 students each class by using random sampling. And the research procedure. The researcher will find out the problem. It can be related to her experiences, interest, or their finding in the real life, and then determining the design procedure that conclude a plan to answer the research question. And the next step, determine the population and take the sample and choose the time of the research, selecting or choosing proper instrument. Then tell the students that the researcher will conduct the research and tell students that they would be involved in the research. It is aimed to ask permission in the hierarchy so the students will not confuse while given listening and vocabulary mastery tests and non-tests. For the next, after that, the researcher will collecting and analyzing data using person, product, moment, and at last interpreting the result. For the data collection, the researcher will use test and non-test. For the test consisted of listening and vocabulary tests, and for the non-test, it will use open questionnaire. For the data analysis itself, the researcher will use person, product, moment correlation. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.